Hello, hello. I'm finally back. 1 week later. Maybe even more. Hmm. Anyway, let's see if everything is working correctly. Because it will be a bit experimental stream. At least in the first, 40 minutes. So YouTube is working correctly. Let's check Twitch. Also, music is a bit loud. That's for sure. I definitely not need the music that loud. Especially when we'll watch Zaahen and think about World's drafts. Anyway. Yep. Let's start with Zaahen, shall we? Because I think that's a really interesting champion. Actually, let's not full screen it. So basically his passive is like Conqueror plus Guardian Angel if you get full stacks. So what you need to do is get a lot of stacks before you die, revive, and then you can actually play the game. So you need survivability, and you need to not die as fast. We will talk about how to achieve that later. Yeah, looks cool. Q, it reminds me of Xin Q. Like, you can slash once, you can slash twice, you can knock up easily. Feels like it was really inspired by Xin, considering all his all stuff that happened in lore. Let's watch it again. Yeah, it's probably his main ability and he will max it all the time. W reminds me a bit of Atrox W, in a way that you pull enemies towards something. In this case, you pull it toward towards yourself. Cool. Kind of like anti-Xin gameplay. Because Xin wants to go in and then knock up. Zaahen wants to pull enemies to him and knock them up. Like, you can really see those similarities. Also, I think you can time it really well. Like, if someone goes on you with dash, you can time it really well to prevent their dashes. Like, even with this Naafiri clip, you could kinda see it. Like, if he would time it a bit earlier, press it a bit earlier, he would prevent her ultimate. And this is really good. Gives him a bit of skill ceiling. E is like Naafiri E, nothing to see here. Like, you just dash, deal damage, and deal damage around you. Basically Naafiri E. And ultimate, it's fine, I guess. Like, you go to the center, deal lots of damage, take reduce the damage. Cool. Kind of like Belveth E, in a way. So, yep, that's it. For some reason, YouTube player is a bit laggy for me when I stream. This is weird. Anyway, we don't need to see his gameplay. I'm sure lots of you saw what he does. So let's look at the real numbers on the wiki. And let's turn on music then. So, he needs 12 stacks to proc his passive. Each stack gives him a bit of bonus AD, and on max stacks he can get additional AD, and also revive. So, you need to hit at least 12 times enemy team to unleash his full power. What that means is that he either needs lots of survivability, or he needs to play versus tanky champions. So he's kind of like a Rust, in a way. Like, you wanna play versus lots of melee champions, lots of tanky champions that don't have enough damage to kill you fast. And in the opposite, he needs to not play versus champions who can one-shot him. Like versus Kha'Zix, Talon, Rengar, versus teams with lots of damage, he will be bad. Of course, you can play him lethality, but we will talk about it later. Also interesting to see is that his revive is actually scales with level. Like, level 1 you get only 30% of HP, and on level 18 you get 75% of HP. I think this is the main reason why Riot thinks that it will be balanced. Because they have this lever to tweak something. If it will be too OP, or if it will be not too OP. I think this will be the main lever to balance this champion and his revive. So, his Q... it actually has a really low cooldown. And it resets your basic attack timer, which is nice. So what you need to do is auto Q, auto Q. That's your main combo. That's how you will trade with enemies. It heals him pretty significant, I would say. 5-9% of his max health. Really good. It can also crit, but adapt you will go any crit items. It also gives him a bit of additional range, so it gives him a bit of higher skill ceiling, especially in top lane. Like, in top lane there are lots of champions who gets auto attacks, resets, and additional range. Camille, Renekton, or else Wukong, if you play him top lane. Like, lots of bruisers have that kind of stuff. So yeah, you can already see where he will most likely be played. Definitely not support. W, let's see. It actually stuns people for 0.25 seconds. So yeah, because of that, you definitely can prevent people from dashing on you, if you are pressing it correctly. It also has 2 different AD damages. So like, when he hits someone, he deals damage, and when on reaching maximum range, all enemies hit dealt the same physical damage. So yeah, basically you press W, you hit someone, and then they're pulling to you and getting hit again, if I read it correctly. I think it will be last ability that you will max. Why? Because, first of all, it has a long cooldown in general. Probably you won't have fights that go longer than 12 seconds, especially in solo queue. And It's not like you will have you will need people to pull to yourself. Why? Because you pick him versus lots of melee champions, and because you have E. So let's talk about it. Physical damage to nearby enemies. Bonus magic damage. But there's no magic damage. Ah, wait. Here it is. So basically you deal max HP damage with your E. That's good. That's good. I thought he will be full AD champion. But I guess he has a bit of AP damage, which is nice. So you need to hit people with the outer edge of that ability. Naafiri just hits twice, and I guess it's like Lilia E, Lilia Q, I mean, where you just need people to be in range of your Q. Here it's E to deal additional damage. Yeah. So you don't wanna dash straight to someone. You need to get some angle, like 45 degrees, 30 degrees to your enemy. So then you hit him not with the general damage, but with the outer edge damage. So it will deal a bit more damage. Too much damage. Also, his Q and his E have bonus physical damage against monsters, so he can probably jungle because of these two things. We will see, of course. But yeah, he probably can do it. His ultimate gives him armor pen, which is cool, I think. But what that means is that he probably will go lethality, at least early on. Like, we saw it with Ambessa already. She also has armor pen in her kit, and she just goes lethality. Also, why lethality is extra good for him is because it has the highest amount of AD on items. So all of that AD stacks will amplify his AD from items even more. He also has high AD ratios, like 100%, 80%, 100%. Yes, it's 50, 50, again 100%, 12%, 200%. So yeah, looks like you wanna go lethality items early on. You get 50% damage reduction, so you're probably unkillable during it. It's also good to, like, when an enemy is going to hit you really hard, you can try to press your ultimate and reduce a bit of damage. Well, quite a lot of damage, actually. But I think it will be kind of easy to dodge. So I'm not really sure that it will help him much. It's like playing versus Nyla E. Nyla A, I mean. Like, it's easy to dodge. She needs to be in melee range, so it's he. You need to be slowed or something, so then you can actually hit someone. So yeah, I think it will be harder to hit. You probably need some CC or slow from your teammates. Otherwise, yeah, I cannot see how you will hit someone. Heals for 33%. That's quite a lot. And here you can also heal. And here you can revive. Actually, I'm curious. If you go anti-heal items, will it reduce his healing on revive? Probably no. But if yes, then anti-heal is really good versus him. So, yeah, he's kind of like Bruiser, kind of like Ambessa in a way. So, I think you need to max Q, E, W, ultimate all the time. And what he will build? Well, let's actually find all items and go through them. Where's list of items? Here it is. So, what I can see can be good for him. I mean, people will probably go Eclipse on him or Stridebreaker. I cannot see it. Stridebreaker because he needs some sort of slow for himself to be in range with target. And Eclipse, I just think people love it, even though it's not as good. People will definitely build Black Cleaver. They build it pretty much on any bruiser. Maybe someone will play Ravenous Hydra, though I'm not sure if it will be good enough. Stark also can be good. It has pretty high base AD, I assume, because it's a bruiser. Where it is? Yeah, decent. But I think lethality items will be the best for him. Like Axiom Arc, for sure, will be his first or rather second item. Opportunity can be good as his first item. Ghost Blade, Hubris. I don't think Voltaic Cycle Sword will be good, because he doesn't have much dashes. Many dashes. Unlike Ambessa. Like, the reason why Ambessa likes Voltaic Cycle Sword is because she has lots of dashes. So it's like her best item. For Zaahen, I think you cannot go it. You need to go Hubris into Axiom Arc or Opportunity. I think it will be the best build in terms of win rate. And the most popular will be Eclipse or Stridebreaker into some Black Cleaver, Sterak, usual stuff. Just usual stuff. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We will see him soon. I hope I will be able to play versus him on stream. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So, let's go to Worlds stuff. I watched all 5 games live, and there were lots of bad champions that people draft. Like, I'm not saying that they played bad, but yeah, there are some stuff that needs to be addressed. Because I want people to draft better. And in general, I don't think that many teams are drafting that good. Sometimes they do, but most of the time it's just straight up classic. And you can basically predict it yourself if you know what priority in draft teams have. Like in that game, they just wanna ban first picks, OP first picks that they think are OP. So Azir, Orianna, Yone, I'm not sure why they banned it. Probably they were scared of some AE composition, so yeah, not sure why. They just banned support champions because they think that carrier will just 1v9 on them. Fair. What I think they could even do is not ban Nika and pick it themselves first, then flex it and play the game. Inara, they just don't have priority on Inara, so yeah. They didn't want T1 to get it on 1-2. Wukong, pretty classic pick. Yeah. It was kind of predictable what the first pick will be. In general, I won't talk much about off-meta picks, like not world picks, because then drafts will be completely different. Like, we can see where Wukong is. Wait. Emerald Plus. For beta data. So where's Wukong? Wukong. Yeah, I can't see him. Okay, he's here. 51.1. Like, he's fine, but there are just better champions to play. But yeah, I won't talk about them much, because otherwise I can find like 5 other picks that will be good at each point of the draft. So yeah, Wukong was fine. I don't mind much. Talia. And let's skip it a bit. And Varus. Okay. So, first of all, why they pick Talia? Because they like globals. All teams in general, they like global ultimates that can affect both top lane and bot lane. So what they wanna do is farm safely, get level 6, get prior, and try to impact other lanes in mid lane. That's why you see Talia, that's why you see Ryze, that's why you see Galio, and other champions. TF also, though it wasn't present at this Worlds. What is good about this Talia pick is that she can counter Wukong engage. Wukong has 2 dashes on his W and his E. Talia can just press E, and she's safe. He can never engage first. On the other hand, Wukong can dodge her W easily with his W. But still, I think Talia is good into Wukong. So yeah, I think it's a good pick. Varus is a good blind pick, so I'm happy that T1 picked it. There are not many champions that can hard counter Varus in draft. Like, you definitely need the good support matchup to do it. So yeah, he's good. He can go on hit if enemy goes too many melee champions. He can go lethality and just poke. Both builds are fine. I like Varus in this game. Rumble, classic, super predictable. They just wanna layer ultimates on top of CC. What I don't like about Rumble is that he wants to play versus melee champions, and that they have double range. So it's kind of not good to pick a Rumble here. Also, they don't have any reliable CC right now, just Wukong R, which like CCs for 1 second, I think. Let's see. 0.6 seconds. So even if you try to react on Wukong engage and press your ultimate, you will have like 0.2 seconds of your ultimates laying on top of each other. So it's not that kind of combo. So yeah, I don't like Rumble, but I get why people pick it. Again, champion with global in mid lane. Just Ryze, Talia, they're pretty even in lane. And yeah, both of them scale into mid game, deal decent amount of damage. They're kinda similar. What I like about Ryze is that he has good CC, especially in early game, like EW, and you can guarantee to CC someone, so then Rumble or Wukong can layer their damage. So yeah, Ryze was just decent, not the best, but it's fine. Also, another thing to mention is that it's not good to pick top lane champion that early in draft. That's something that many pro play teams are doing. They're picking full top side, and it kind of doesn't make sense. Why? Because mid lane and the top lane both are lanes that can be countered. You can't counter enemy ADC that easily. You can't counter enemy support, but it's not as effective as countering mid and top. And also most pro play teams won't just counter supports. They will pick same engaged champions and just play the game. So what that means is it's not good to pick top lane champion because it can be easily countered. So yeah, what you can pick versus Rumble, let's see. What are good champions versus Rumble? Week against, 30 days. Of course, there are not many games on Rumble, because people don't play him much. But what is good? Zaahen. They could pick Zaahen, because it's a good AoE tool. Versus champions that can kind of protect themselves. He has unstoppable ultimate, so it's easy to get on top of them. Also synergize well with Wukong, who also wants to go in. What else? I think Zaahen was one of the best picks out of there. Ornn could work too. Why not? Yep. That's what T1 could pick versus him. In general, you wanna pick AD here. Especially because you saw Varus, yeah? You saw Varus, you can counter him, pick like Ziggs, which could pair really well with Wukong. Like he goes in, and Ziggs immediately throws his ultimate. Also helps to stabilize lane, because Varus is pretty oppressive in lane. So yeah. Rumble wasn't a good pick. T1 just picked jungle instead of trying to counter enemy top. Fine, but not the best. Sin is decent into champions, into range champions, or champions who cannot one-shot him in melee range. So he's kind of fine in this game. Again, it's not the best Xin angle, but it's something. So now, what T1 wants to ban is champions that are kind of safe in lane. And KT tries to ban supports that can protect, because all of them wants to go in or be in melee, kind of melee range. So they try to ban protect champions on support role. So let's skip it a bit. Poppy. It's a Poppy flex. She can go either top or support. I like Poppy into Wukong, because you can prevent him from engaging. But besides that, she doesn't do much. Like, you already see Rumble top. You can counter pick. Again, with Sion, with Sion mostly. But they just picked Poppy. Also, another thing is that Doran, he doesn't play Poppy at all. Like, look at it. There's no Poppy games. All games here, all champions here at least have 2 games. And there is like no Poppy games. So yeah, he doesn't play Poppy. So they basically blind picked support. Is it good? Of course not. It would be better to pick top right now. And I don't think that KT would have picked Poppy from them anyway, because Poppy is bet into those 3 champions. Wait, what? Something happened. Okay. My bad. Anyway, yeah. Into those 3 champions, Poppy is not good, so they wouldn't pick it. So it was pretty pointless to pick Poppy right now. You could pick it on 5. Unless you flex it. But you don't flex it. KT pick Ashe Braum. So, here's my biggest concern about this draft. While Ashe is fine, she's good into Varus, she can slow Xin, that's good. She's fine into Talia. So yeah, I like Ashe this game. She's fine. She also gives additional CC for those 3 champions, because they don't have much CC. Like imagine Ashe is ulting in fight, CC someone for 2 seconds, so Rumble can layer his ultimate. It's basically the longest CC in the team right now. So yeah, I like Ashe. But what I don't like is Braum. Why would you pick Braum this game? They have double range. They don't have much engage. Like, okay, Xin can go in. Poppy can go in, kind of. But they don't have champions who, like, really wants to go in. They will just dance around and wait while their Varus and Talia will poke champions or land some good combo, like Varus with his ultimate, Talia with WE. They will just wait. They don't need to do much. What Braum wants to do? He wants people to go on... He wants enemy team to go into him. He wants lots of melee champions. He wants to protect his team. But protect doesn't do much for versus poke team. They cannot engage those champions, protect champions. They cannot engage, and they just bleed until they die. He also doesn't synergize well with any of these champions, except Ashe, kind of. Because, again, they want to go in, they want to land a CC on top of each other. They want to find someone. Braum doesn't help with it. All he does is block Varus Qs. Once in a while. Okay, great. Does it help? Not really. They probably picked Braum because of like Ashe Braum, cool combo, wow, and because of Varus Qs. But it's not good. Also another thing is that Ashe doesn't like to play with melee champions. Because she already has slow in her kit. She can slow, she needs buffs, so then she can perma hit someone. Like, she doesn't need any help with CC, she already has it. So yeah, it wasn't a good pick at all. So what you could pick instead of Braum? You either need someone with poke to pressure Varus Poppy with Ashe, it would be really good. So like Karma, Morgana could be good, especially because of Talia CC. Or you could pick like AoE champions that can help those 3 champions. So like Leona, Amumu, even Rel. Though Rel is not the best because it's Poppy and Talia. So yeah, they would be the best. But what would be the best champion in this draft for support? It would be Seraphine. Not only does she help those 3 champions, she's a range champion, so it synergizes with Ashe. It's a poke champion, so it's good into Varus Poppy. And yeah, she's just the best pick of this game. You can also heal and shield Varus and Talia poke, so even better. Not sure why he went Braum, not sure. But Seraphine was just miles better. Miles. Amber's last pick, fine. Riz, kind of counter to Rumble. Has high skill ceiling, so in pro play she is even better. And yeah, I think if they didn't pick Braum, they would win this draft. And maybe game. But because they picked Braum, they just didn't have enough engage or poke to either pressure bot lane hard enough in early game or win team fights in mid game. Sucks for them, sucks for them. Anyway, let's look at second draft. And where this here. So they're blue side again, because they lost. So everything is the same. They try to ban first pick champions that they consider OP. They try to ban champions that they think are good on 1-2. Or just ban champions that they don't wanna see in enemy team. Trundle says that they wanna pick tank champion, but who knows? Caitlyn, I guess they're just scared that enemy team will outrange them, so they probably want to pick something that that doesn't have high range. Also, they didn't pick Nico, and what I said in the first draft, they can first pick it and flex. The problem is that people in pro play don't pick Nico to flex. They pick her to play as a support. Like, Nika is one of the champions that can play on all 5 roles. Like, let's look at it. Even though she has a small player base on certain roles, I'll change the Gold Plus to see her sample size. She's still decent at all of them. Let's compare with support win rate. 49-49. Okay. 49-97 in top lane, so she's decent there. She can also play with on-hit build, though it's not the best, I guess. And yeah, jungle, 47%. The thing about jungle Nico is that she has a high skill ceiling, so if we will look here, she already has a bit higher win rate compared to this one. It's not her best role, and unless you are really good at Nika jungle, you don't wanna play her in jungle. But yeah, she can be played here. Better than some champions, at least. Mid, her best role, 51.35% win rate, better than average champion. So yeah, you could flex your mid. The problem is that BDD doesn't play Nika at all. Actually, never mind. I forgot. It's his 19th champion. Okay, he could pick it. But, yep. In pro play, they don't wanna play Nika on other roles. AD is her weakest role. But she's still playable, at least. So, to conclude, you can pick her on 3 different roles. At least. And the 2 weaker roles, but also available. So yeah. They could flex Nika, but it will be support Nika. And the T1 also knows it. So let's see what they answered with Sion and the Jarvan. Personally, I don't like those picks. That early at least. Why? Because Sion is easy to counter. Again, it's a blind top lane champion. What I said in the first draft also applies here. It's really easy to counter Zaahen. Let's look who can counter him. There are plenty of champions. Emerald Plus, because people play him a lot, so we don't need that much of a sample size. Better look at better champions. So, even Yone could work. Gwen. Set. If we talk about pro play champions, Cho'Gath. Ambassador was banned already. So yeah, there are plenty of champions that could be picked against him. Not sure why they just blinded him. You could even pick Munti here, by the way, because he can scale really easily versus Zaahen. And the Jarvan, what I do not like about the Jarvan in this game is you need immobile champions versus him. Like, Jarvan wants immobile carries. He wants to catch someone. But they have only one pick right now, Neeko. They can easily pick mobile mid and ADC, and what Jarvan will do this game? Nothing. Just nothing. It's better to pick him later in drafts, like in game 4 or 5, when all these champions are out. So ideally you wanna pick jungle here and then counter enemy top. But yeah, we will see what they will pick. They actually picked top and jungle, which is good. Now let's talk about them. I don't mind Rek'Sai. I actually really like her because she's kind of good into Jarvan. She can prevent his combo. She can dash away from his cage. She can pressure Zaahen in on side lane and get the turret plates for free, and the turrets in general. What I don't like that much is Vi. Like, what does she do in this game right now? Like, you wanna heavy dive enemy team, kind of, but you don't see enemy champions, like enemy mid and AD, right now. And versus those two champions, Vi doesn't do that much. The only thing she can do is armor shred someone. With Q, I guess. Or on what ability she has armor shred? Let's see. On W. Okay, my bad. Like, yeah, she can reduce 20% of armor from Zaahen, and it will help her team. But besides that, there is no real reason to pick Vi right now. It's fine, but it's just not the best. So, you see 3 champions here. Neeko, Vi, Rek'Sai. All of them wants to go in and dive. So what you need to do is pick a champion that can protect himself and also help his team. They also have double melee champions, and Neeko is going melee too, most of the time. So, what is a good champion that counters melee champions, counters enemy dive, and good with the front line, so basically hyper carry? It's Zaahen. And T1 ADC really likes to play Zaahen. So I'm not sure why they picked a Sivir. Idea is good, like Sivir can do the same thing, but she's a bit worse at it. Because versus Neeko, her spell shield doesn't help, because Neeko has two instances of CC on her ultimate. First is knockback, and the second is stun. So basically, first time when Neeko jumps, it procs a spell shield, and then she gets stunned anyway. And versus Vi, it doesn't help either, her spell shield, because Vi can smite it midair. So it's not that good to pick Neeko Sivir here. Rek'Sai can also fry her a bit. Like, Zaahen is a lot better this game. You can dodge Nico ultimate pretty easily, you can dodge Vi ultimate pretty easily, you shred through Rek'Sai, you shred through Vi if they go in. So, I'm not sure why they picked Sivir, but sure. So, they ban champions who can shred through tanks, or who can follow up that initial engage pretty easily. So, Kai'Sa versus follow-ups, Yone. Yone is actually really good versus Sivir. You can just out-attack her till the death. So yeah, good bans. They ban pill champions again, because they want to go in. Lulu. Let's see. Yeah, it's a Lulu pick. I don't like her with those champions, because they want to go in. Sivir can follow up and go in with them. Because of her ultimate, like, she gives lots of move speed to everyone. And yeah. And Lulu wants to protect. It's decent into those champions, kind of. But not the best for her team. So yeah, I don't mind Lulu, to be honest. I think she was fine. 4-5. Let's see. Okay. We need to go a bit back in time. Mel and Ezreal. What can I say? Ezreal, he was a bad pick, I think. Why? Because Ezreal is bad into Sivir. Like, let's look at it. Weak against 48% win rate versus Sivir. Why? Because Sivir just pushes those waves, and Ezreal cannot really find any moment to go in, trade, and yeah. And then she just outscales him. So, yeah, Ezreal is not good pick into Sivir. Another reason why I don't like Ezreal is because of Zaahen. Ezreal cannot play versus tanks, especially if enemy team is really melee heavy, with lots of HP, resists, and stuff like that. Ezreal just doesn't shred them at all. So yeah, I really don't like Ezreal. What you could do is maybe pick Zeri or Smolder, but it wouldn't be that good either, because of Nico support. Like, with Nico support, they basically locked themselves into kind of an awkward spot for ADC. They could also pick Mage, Ziggs for example. Yeah, I will mention him every time because he's really good. He's good with Y especially, because you can layer her ultimate and then press Ziggs ultimate instantly. It's really good. So yeah, Ziggs could work here. Or if they flex Nico in mid lane, they could pick something like Zeri Emilio or Zeri Janna. Both supports would counter Jarvan, and both lanes would be good into Sivir Lulu. The problem is that you wouldn't be able to follow up those three champions, so that's also not the best. And Mel, she was fine. I don't mind her much. Especially if you play Ezreal, you just go double poke and try to poke them before any team fight. Especially because Sivir is a low range champion. Mel can work. So, Faker initially wanted to pick Victor, and I didn't mind it much. Victor is fine in this game. Not at the best, but decent. But what he picked was Silas. Now, I can see why he picked Silas. First of all, he has good ultimates. Like Nico ultimate good for Silas, Vi ultimate is kind of good for Silas, even Ezreal ultimate is decent for Silas. And yeah. Also, another reason to pick Silas is to counter Mel. Kind of counter. Like, if you saw Mel on release, like there was one moment where Mel stayed under the turret, like level 4, level 5. Or was it the opposite? It was the opposite. Silas stayed under the turret. And what happened is he pressed E on Mel. Mel reflected it and went in turret range. Like she reflect Silas E. It was so funny. And I think this is one of the reasons he picked Silas. Besides having good ultimates. So what is my problem with Silas? He just cannot play this game. Not only enemy has double poke champions, so it's hard for him to engage and go in and do something already. There's also those 3 champions. So Nika, Vi and Rek'Sai. I just cannot see how Silas can play this game. He goes in, gets instantly Vi ulted, instantly Rek'Sai knock-upped, instantly Nika ultimate. Like, he just cannot play the game. They're also quite tanky with those 2 picks, and Silas don't like to play versus tanks. So yeah, this was a really bad pick, and I think it was a main reason they lost this game. So yeah, I think Silas wasn't good. Let's see 3rd game. Where it is 432. Okay. So KT on blue or on red side, T1 on blue. So they basically do the same stuff. They ban 1-2 champions that they think are OP, and they ban first pick champions that they think are OP. They didn't ban Yunara, so instantly first picked. Yunara is not the best plant, and in general she was in a pretty weak spot at the Worlds, so I don't like her. I don't like her. Like, it's just an AD, so it's fine, not the best. What happened because of Yunara pick, and Trundle ban also, is that they can pick tanky champions now, and no one can kill them. No one. Like, the problem with Yunara, main Yunara problem, is that she cannot get armor pen, because a bit like 1/3 of her damage is AP damage. So if she goes armor pen, some of her damage won't be empowered. If she goes Terminus, she doesn't have crit chance to scale at all. So yeah, in general, you don't wanna pick Yunara versus tanks, and I don't wanna ever see it. Like, when I played myself Yunara, when she just released, I had exactly the same position. Pick Yunara, and the enemy has lots of tanks. And I just couldn't kill them, no matter how fed I was. Like, I had 3 items, I was ahead, but I just couldn't kill them. So yeah, Yunara is not good versus tanks. Yep, I like those 2 picks. I really like them. Also, another thing is that support pool is already quite exhausted, so Alistar cannot be hard countered for now. Like, you can pick Thresh into him and react properly, but it doesn't do much. Rakan. He's just average. Like, you don't wanna pick him into those champions. He's just a decent blind pick in general, but you wanna amplify your damage on Yunara and on other champions you will pick to kill those tanks. So something like Milio, what else? Lulu is already out. Nami could also work, especially versus Munda because he's immobile. Janna was a really good pick, by the way, if you pick her here, because she gives additional AD for Yunara, so she helps her to shred through tanks, and she also really good versus Alistar, because you can counter his engage. So yeah, Janna, Emilio, it would have been much better than Rakan, but it's fine, I guess. Renekton was a complete troll pick. Because now Munda can go top lane if he wants to. Of course he won't, because people don't flex picks that much in pro play. But, why do you even pick Renekton here? You see enemy jungle. Most likely it's Munda jungle. And as I said, you don't wanna pick top lane blind. Also, Renekton is bad into tanks, and he's not good in general, so yeah. There's no reason to pick Renekton in this game, for now. I'm not sure why they picked him. So, right now it's already quite lost for T1. No matter what AD they will pick, it will be lost. They have one opportunity to save this game, and I will talk about it a bit later. Corki, just a decent pick, nothing to see here. Like, you could pick most ADs here and ADCs here, and it would have been fine. And yeah, if you pick jungle here, you need to pick champion who can shred through tanks. So let's see who can shred through tanks, and quite good in general. To be honest, you could pick Ivern and just buff Yunara, and then pick like some really hard carry in mid lane, maybe even ADC, even though they're not that good in mid lane. But yeah, you could pick it. What else could you pick? I won't talk about off meta, otherwise I could talk about this champion, or even this champion. But yeah. If we talk about the best pick that I can imagine pro play teams would have picked, I think Zac would have been really good. Because he's good into tanks, he has lots of HP percent damage. He also gives a good engage. And he also disrupts. Like, if you react, you can prevent Alistar from combo your team with your ultimate. Like, Alistar tries to go in with W, you press ultimate, then press Q, auto on Mundo, and yeah, you just CC them perma. While you're not hitting them all. So yeah, I would like Zac for the most part. Definitely not top lane blind, definitely not Renekton. Lilia could also work, by the way, so that was a good ban. Not sure why they banned Zoe. I don't think they would pick it anyway in this game. Cassio, it was a good ban, I guess. And now they pick Xante. Because you blinded top, they had a free pick. They could choose whatever they want to. And because they see Renekton, who is bad into tanks, you can pick Xante. Like, who in the enemy team will kill 3 of them? Who? There is no one. Imagine they would pick top layer jungle here on 3. And then now they could counter enemy top lane. Like, I assume they would pick top lane anyway. And what you could pick into playing to resolve this whole game and actually have a chance is Vayne. Vayne into Munda, Xante, and Alistar. It's actually one of the best Vayne angles you can ever have in pro play. And in solo queue in general. But sadly, he doesn't play Vayne. He had no Vayne games when I checked it. So yeah. If we talk about what he could play if not Vayne, he could pick Gale and just scale with Xante. Of course, Xante is really oppressive in lane, but I don't think you will die much versus him. But yeah, because they picked Renekton, they couldn't pick anything to counter those 3 tanks. They try to resolve this draft by picking champions who can at least damage enemy team. So like Victor, who is good into melee champions, Viega,